The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good Tuesday morning, everybody. Welcome back from a long weekend. Appreciate Basil Chapman kicking us off a little early this morning, and we jump into the action, and we got markets in the red to kick things off, but off of the market lows this morning, a little volatility, and right at 10 till 9 this morning when I was coming on the air, I was there for some buying. The S&Ps catch a little bit of a bid from where we were at 68.20 up to almost 68.45 in that 5-minute bar. We back it up to the overnight action. We got markets in the red right now. Quite the volatile session on Friday. Following Thursday's sell-off, S&Ps trading right now off 17 points, off 0.25%, 68.34. We were just at almost 7,000 on 30. How quickly? 165 points, right? Thursday's acceleration was down to 68.84. We had lows on Friday that pushed the 68.20 level. We hit 68.05 today. We catch a bit of a bounce. We'll see how the day goes. NASDAQ 100. Pretty similar action overnight, down about 0.6% off 150 points. You catch a little bid coming into that 9 o'clock start of the program. The Dow right now off 29 points, 49,542, and the Russell off by 0.2%. Bitcoin off 510 bucks, 68,260. Ethereum down 49 bucks, sitting just shy of 2,000, 1998. Crude right now down 14 pennies. Yeah, we got some action going on in the market in terms of what was just driving the action as I was coming on the air there. But something just happened. When you're talking about the markets rejoicing and crude pulling back, maybe we have some talks going on in terms of what's going on in the Hormuz Strait, right? The Persian Gulf, Iranian said partly closed the Strait of Hormuz for several hours, so we'll see. We might be getting a headline for that right now. If I wouldn't be surprised when you see that type of a lower oil price and you get a market pop. Thanks, Dan. Yeah, Iran saying good developments working toward a potential agreement. So we got a little bit of easing of risk coming in, but guess what, folks? We got a little volatility in these markets. The VIX right now, 21.97. If you're a buyer of that VIX on Christmas Eve, kudos to you. So ever since then, higher highs, higher lows, with the VIX up another 3.6% this morning. You jump over to yields. Now we pull back a bit on that recent development in the markets, but we were all the way up to 113.14. And to see where we are right now, just over 4%, 4.05. Okay, we're at about 4.03, I think early this morning, approaching 4%. At the highs, they're at 113.14. Quite the move to end last week, and we're sitting right where we ended last week. Up by one tick right now in the 10-year, 4.05. And as you get a bit of a reprieve, as in yields right now, look at this dollar strength, 97.36 right now in the dollar, and that's weighing on metals. Gold, look at this action. All right, watch out, baby. Gold, overnight, you spiked to 48.60. You just broke below there. Gold, particularly volatile right now, coming into 9 o'clock. Look at this, off 136 bucks, off 2.6%. Silver, we just hit 72 bucks. It's a tough-looking chart in silver right now, folks, okay? Look at the volume on the downside. There's no encouraging buys on the daily basis right now. Nothing that screams strength on this trade lower. You're coming back into this consolidation area where you do have some volume, okay, which is right after Christmas. You put this thing on a weekly, and that's not encouraging at all. I mean, you can make the case that there was no volume there on the sell-off, but boy, you cannot make the case that there is any strength in silver right now. Off another 4 bucks, off 5.1%, trading at 74 bucks on the dot on silver. Now, check out gold. All right, I put a new issue out of the gold report this morning, folks. If you'd like to check it out, check it out. Every newsletter, right at the front page of TFNN.com, comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. And the volume last week on gold, folks, okay, on the futures, 620,000 contracts we're talking about. 620,000 contracts for the entire week. It was a full trading week last week. You did almost 600,000 in a single day at the top. You did 500, you did 377. Okay, we did 620 for the entire week last week. Now, that is the lightest volume week in gold on that acceleration we had, up to 5,063. Now watch this, 620,000 contracts in gold. That's the lightest volume week going back to the shortened weeks of Christmas and New Year's this past year. Going back to the week of June 30th of 2025, which is July 4th week. These are holiday weeks. And then you go back to Christmas in 2023. I have to check my wording every time I say it. It's the lowest volume week in gold that we've had in years if you don't count Christmas and July 4th. Not exaggerating. 620,000 contracts. Yeah, we had some Christmas weeks that were very low in 2024. We had July 4th in 2025. Okay. But that should be worrisome. Does it mean the market's going to tank? No. But is it running out of steam? Boy, it sure looks so. When you're bumping up against 5,000, you're trading higher above the week of February 2nd, where you closed out at 49.88. We close at 5,063, and you do it on 620,000 contracts. And we were talking about it last week, folks. Okay, so these numbers, 100,000, right? This acceleration you got higher, the 6th and the 9th, Friday and Monday, 171 and 118,000 contracts. You pulled back lower on Thursday, and then you bounce on 118. No volume whatsoever in this whole little area. So we need some strength in this market. It's not happening right now. And we got a little dollar bounce, which is weighing on metals right now, with gold off 130 bucks, off 2.6% right now. We jump over to the different metals, platinum. So let's put this on the weekly. I'm going to show you what I was talking about. Look at the volume, the same thing, right? Now, platinum has no bounce whatsoever just yet. And platinum has some nice strength. Your first acceleration December, your second acceleration the next week. You've come back to test the highs of this high from December 15th, but we haven't caught a bid yet in platinum as well. Volume dropping off the last couple of weeks, and you jump over to copper. Now, the copper stocks look strong, folks. We'll check into them. Copper's off 2.2% right now. See, check out the difference in this, right? Copper's got some nice volume at the highs here, and then you're pulling back on lighter volume. You don't have the same type of concentration in the October where you do in gold, and silver's later. And you go to the daily, and look at it. We got some strength, man. On a short-term basis, you got some nice volume, and we're testing the lower part of this consolidation on copper at 231. You jump over the copper equities. Look at this volume that you have on Freeport. This is what you want to see. Since January 5th, nice volume, big time. Right, look at this volume. You do have a pullback here, but we got some nice volume even last week. Looking at how light everything was, okay, the last couple weeks, decent volume in Freeport-McMoRan, and same thing with Southern Copper. Look at this volume in Southern Copper. Look at that. That's how you want to see the equities trade higher. Copper's looking strong, but we're pulling back this morning. We got metals in the red, markets in the red. We're coming right back, folks. If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out, like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
Building wealth trading in the stock market seems impossible to most people. They think it's too volatile and risky. Most people aren't going to take the time to educate themselves on how to do it right. But you're not most people, are you? At TFNN, you'll get the guidance you need to refine your strategies and techniques to invest like a pro. Because you'll be a pro. All TFNN subscriptions, books, software, and courses are available at TFNN.com. And I'm even going to tell you how to get them for less. Use TFNN's Tiger Dollars and you'll get up to a 20% bonus on your purchase. And once you apply them to your account, Tiger Dollars are automatically used for all future or recurring charges. Tiger Dollars also never expire, are fully transferable, and are a great way to add savings to your newsletters or services. Become the investor you were born to be at TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This portion of the Morning Market Kickoff is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Welcome back, folks. S&P's right now, 68.33. Things were looking a little dire at 68.05 this morning, but you catch a little bit of a reprieve. Maybe some tensions easing with Iran. We'll see if that happens, though. As we know, the day is young, as our man Basil Chapman would say. We got markets in the red, and let's jump over to the streamers. So, imagine when you're fighting with one of the richest families in the world for an asset, it can take years to play out. And now we have 7 days, and we'll see where we go from there. Warner Brothers reopens deal talks after Paramount raises the bid. Paramount said that they would offer at least, see what they and I don't understand. I'm not a lawyer, right? I'm running a financial talk show. I do a lot of trading, okay, our fundamentals and technicals especially, but at each stage of this, Paramount is representing that they are actively in a negotiation and have not reached their final bid. They're very aware, I think, that legally, if they continue to make the case that they are in a negotiation and they have not reached their best and final, and why would you cut off negotiations when you have an active bidder? And listen, Ellison put up the real stake, man. Right? At first he had a trust in there, and then he put up his actual backing of that collateral. And yeah, at least $31 a share if the company agreed to reopen talks. At least $31 a share. Well, HBO is buying it for $27.75. So immediately you're at $3.25 above it. And the difference there is the networks. Right? And those networks worth somewhere between $2 and $4. Well, right away, At $27.75, you're at $3.25 is what they're paying above, at least above what the Netflix offer is when it comes to the value of those private cable networks, the spinoff of those cable networks. That's $1 more than their latest proposal. It's not their best and final. And hey, you know, if I'm a Warner Brothers Discovery shareholder, and there's the action on them today, you're darn right I want to make sure that we keep pushing this limit with Paramount, because it sure seems like they're willing to pay it. They would have a big breakup fee as well. And if anything, Netflix seems like they would have a harder time getting that deal through. Now, surprisingly, here's an idea what the market thinks of the type of money that Netflix is spending in the short term for that asset. The market finds out, oh, you're telling me we actually might not have to pay almost $100 billion for Warner Brothers? We'll trade up $2 on that news. They are paying a substantial amount of money. It's part of the reason you've seen the decline in this equity to this tune. You're up $1.50 today. And so the technicals of this deal here is that they're going to get 7 days. Temporarily reopen the negotiations for 7 days. Paramount banker told a Warner Brothers board member that Paramount would offer at least $31 a share. The board still unanimously recommends shareholders vote in favor of the binding agreement to sell and HBO streaming to Netflix. Nonetheless, it's back open for a week. So you better believe that's material. Under the terms granted by Netflix, Warner Brothers can engage until February 23rd. It's asked Paramount for its best and final. It's interesting, though, right? It seems like the Ellisons are trying to thread the needle where they keep getting asked for the best and final, but they're not giving the bid that might beat them, and then they're saying it's not their best and final. If after that negotiation period they determine that Paramount has put forth a superior proposal, Netflix will have the right to match that offer to keep the existing agreement intact. The price of Netflix is not going up today because they might potentially match that offer. This is a battle. And it seems like they don't want to give up where we are. And how high is Netflix willing to go? And it's pretty remarkable when you do the calculation on this one, that one of the reasons I think Netflix wants to go so high is straight out for the anti-competitive deal of making sure that they don't have to compete with a behemoth like Paramount and Warner Brothers Discovery. And that's bogus when you put it in that context, right? But you better believe it's in that context, man. This would be by far their largest competitor. It would be anti-competitive when you have Netflix and Warner Brothers as the number 1 and number 3 streamers, and the number 2 is Amazon. And you're going to combine those two. So, yeah. But guess what, man? It's not going to stop here either. If you think this is done in 7 days, not so much. So in the latest offer, Paramount agreed to cover almost $3 billion fees owed to Netflix if Warner Brothers terminates their agreement, and offered to backstop Warner Brothers debt refinancing. It will compensate Warner Brothers shareholders if the deal doesn't close by the end of the year. I mean, look at it, right? Hey, you know, for you Warner Brothers shareholders out there, I like that deal. Okay? And what's your risk reward right now? You have Warner Brothers up $1 to $28.80. They're talking about best and final at $31 right now. Excuse me, not best and final at $31 right now. Look for some volatility on that. Paramount Skydance this morning, only up about 50 cents. So this is not some, you know, reckoning moment. Barely in the positive for Paramount. I imagine it's set in. The cost of those assets isn't going to be a bargain for anybody. Not going to happen. $100 billion almost we're talking about right now for Warner Brothers Discovery. Max, HBO Max. Jump over to Disney, the other streamer, at about 105 today. Staying with movies, AMC kicks off a loan sale as part of a $2.5 billion refinancing plan. $750 million loan It's going to include $1.7 billion in other securities. They're seeking to refinance $2 billion loan due in 2029, and it's $400 million in almost 13% notes maturing next year. Quite the debt load. Look at this company, man. Watch out for this one, folks. You technically traded lower on lighter volume, but that is it. The definition of a falling knife. My goodness. AMC at $1.25. All right, we got markets. You take a look at the volume in the S&Ps. We had some volume towards the end of the week last night. You accelerated lower on Thursday, Friday. Decent volume on Friday as well. 1.7 million contracts. We take a look at the weekly on the S&Ps as we go to kick off a new week. Decent volume. Not as much as the bounce, but the S&P is right now off by 20 points. You get the NASDAQ 100 off by 0.6%. Stay tuned, folks. We'll come back for the opening bell. We'll take a look at some equities. Come right back.
Sharpening your skills as an investor is like getting better at playing a musical instrument. You have to practice, sure, but you also need excellent instruction from experts. At TFNN, you'll get advice and guidance from the authority in technical market analysis. And it's not just dry, tedious text either. TFNN airs live financial content streamed live on TFNN.com and TFNN's YouTube channel with Tiger TV, live every market day from 8:30 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern, for free. Each host is an experienced trader and gives their take on the market while taking calls and questions live from around the world. From the moment the market opens until the closing bell sounds, Tiger TV has 8 different shows with expert hosts to help you make the right moves with your money. Watch online at TFNN.com or on TFNN's YouTube channel and become the investor you were born to be. TFNN, educating investors.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. We get equities open. We get the S&Ps. We catch a bid on the open. Down by only 10 points. NASDAQ 100, we're off by 150. The Dow jumps to positive territory. Look at that run on the open. 49,667 right now in the Dow. Man, we got a lot of volatility on this open right now. And the Russell up by 1 point. Digesting a 3-day holiday. Hope y'all had a great holiday over the weekend. Nice 3-day weekend on President's Day. And yeah, we got the Dow accelerating right now. Let's jump around. You got UNH down about 0.2%. Goldman Sachs, always an important one on the Dow when you're talking about a $900 equity, up by almost $10, up by 1.1% right now. Home Depot up by 0.5%. Let's jump over to the home builders. It's been a nice bid since we've been talking about these home builders, folks. Okay? We were talking about all the strength back here. We got a great pullback. We're coming into these highs, but you need a little bit more volume to break through this January high. On a daily basis, you were doing 4 million, 3 million, 4 million, and that first acceleration was on 7. This run higher, we've been at 225, 2.5. Okay, but yields, yeah, you better believe yields are going to help, man. Now, we're flat today, but we got a 10-year at 4.05, and we were just sitting at almost 4.3. Quite the move over the last 5 to 10 trading days on yields. So we got the markets catching a bid this morning. Dollar up by 44 pennies right now at 97.35. Check in on gold. We almost, look at this. Okay, we got some gold. We got some volume back in this market, folks. We've already done as much volume as you did on Friday. That's what we're talking about, okay? Unfortunately, we're trading lower, though. We'll see how the day continues, but, this puts it in perspective, right? Volume. Whew. We're already where we were, so we're going to get some volume today. We'll see how we play out. We're off by $130 right now. You jump over to silver. Not quite. Silver was not as light as gold comparatively. Probably why we're not quite where we were, but still a big day compared to where we were. Some of those days last week, you did 65, 51,000. We're already at 43,000 contracts in silver, trading at $74. The VIX trading at 21.57. All right, let's take a look at some of the equities that are moving today. Norwegian. So, Elliott builds a stake in Norwegian Cruise Lines. Now, you talk about this equity, folks. Watch this. How's that for a COVID drop-off and you never got it back? Never got it back. Whew. Now, this equity at $22, okay, is a $10.3 billion company. You're up by 5.8% today on that news. And boy, pretty remarkable that we're basically in a consolidation that we've been in since November 2020. You got above that area, you pulled below it, but in general, okay, you got a range between about 15 and $25 that we have been in for almost 6 years. We're trading at 22.87 right now on a volume basis. There's nothing that sticks out on a monthly in recent action. You did have the sell-off with the market into the April lows. The volume last month, what is that, January? Yeah, January. Okay, that's a spike, and you had some selling there. Seems like we're getting a bounce right now, but you're not going to do it in February probably. You're at 242 million. You did 377, and we got a short month for February. So you had a lot of selling on Friday. Yeah, look at this, though. We get some nice volume at the highs. Okay, earnings, you rip lower. We're back above that area right now. And we'll have some big volume today. We'll see if it can carry through. Nonetheless, so Elliott takes a stake over 10%, and they could run a proxy fight. Yeah. Elliott believes Norwegian can make changes to catch up to its rivals. Let's see. Hey, nonetheless, you catch a bid and watch this equity, man. I started saying to myself, at some point they'll probably get back to where they were. Okay? Doesn't mean you're going to get well above that. But cruising's a real deal. And yeah, they have some big problems here, but you were chopping around between 50 and 60 for the better part of 5 years up here before COVID hit. This thing can't get any action going. Since then, you're trading at $23, but put that one on your radar, man. It's on my radar. The other part about this, when I see a chart like this, folks, right? So I remember this during COVID. You always want to diversify yourself. okay? And I remember this during COVID. And there were people, okay, that especially retirees who love to cruise. Can't blame them, man. What a life, man. Just hanging out on cruises. Why not? And you could see how somebody could think that that was a reliable business, that was something they may want to invest in. And you had people out there that love the cruising life. They were going on cruises, and then what do? They invested in cruise companies, thinking, you know what? This is a nice, stable way. We're going to live our life like this, and we're going to invest in the cruise companies. And you take a look at Carnival. Okay, Carnival was already on its way down when you came into COVID. You spike lower. This thing's been on a nice trajectory, though, from $7 to $32 over the last few years. You compare that to Norwegian. Okay, there is no trajectory higher, man. We've had some disappointing earnings in the last year. Probably the reason why Elliot's stepping in. And yeah. And look how little volume you have up here at the highs. Okay? A year ago, 171 million shares at those highs. And I say that as in, that's an easy area that you might be able to break above. You do have some volume on that rip lower to April, but Norwegian. Getting quite a bit in the markets right now. Lennar up by 0.2%. Checking on the home builders. KB slightly in the red. And DR Horton slightly in the red as well. Let's check out those streamers. So Warner Brothers up by almost 3%. Paramount. Okay, there you go. They got it going on the open. Hope is revived, up by 8.1% right now for Paramount, up 85 pennies. Jump over to Netflix, up by 1.1. I'm not sure what to make of this one, right? As in for Netflix. Is it a good thing? Does it mean that they're going to end up paying more? Does it mean that they might not even get to buy it? If they don't buy it, is that good? They're going to save $100 billion? How many levels deep do you go? A lot of variables there. Netflix up by 1.1%. Let's jump around to the big dogs. NVIDIA, a little bit of a bid on the open. Right, we were down to 180 pre-market, just like that. We're off by 32 pennies. Microsoft slightly in the red. Amazon up by 0.8% right now. Google, there's a bid on the open. NASDAQ gets green. How about it, man? Look at this market. Let's jump to the chip stocks. Micron, only in the red by 0.8%. We were below 400 near the open. Okay, we got some action on the open here. Look at Broadcom, man. Broadcom just traded up almost $8 from where we were right coming into the opening bell. Disney up by 1.3%. There you go. All right, folks, S&P's up by 4 points right now. We take a look at the banks as we come into this break. Got bad ticks all over these bank charts. JP Morgan catching a bid. These banks on fire. Up by 1%. All right, folks, S&P's up by 3. NASDAQ slightly in the red. Coming right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC. Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Welcome back, folks. We take a look at the heat map in the S&P 500. We kick it off. And it's the biggest companies that have been leading this market higher that are actually in the red. Even as the NASDAQ 100 got flat, we're now back to negative by 40. But check it out, right? The chip stocks, man. Micron off 3%. Broadcom off by more than 2% right now. Lam off by 2.2%. Clack off by 2%. AMD off by 2.6%. Google off by 1.5% right now. Oracle off by 1.8%. Palantir off by 1.3%. On the flip side of that, Adobe's up by 1%. You got Apple up by 0.8%. What's in the green? The banks. Yeah. I was watching during the break there at JP Morgan with this type of action. I'm going, what is going on with these banks? I go, let me take a look at these banks. What's going on with these banks? I went over here. I said, yeah, look at these financials, man. Bank of America up by more than 1%. Wells Fargo up by 1.4% right now. MasterCard and Visa up by almost 1%. Citi off by 3%, up by 3%. Jump over the NASDAQ 100. Just a few pockets of green here. App 11 off by 3%, Intuit off by 2.7% right now, and then you jump over to the Dow. And this is where, because of the price-weighted nature, like I talked about, you got Goldman. Goldman's a $900 equity. You're up by $18 today alone. American Express, a $340 equity. JP Morgan doing big business, $300+ equity as well. The other thing that's moving is the healthcare stocks. Well, I guess, what, Lilly? Lilly's up 2%. There's a pop for you. Yeah, look at this thing. Now let's look at this. This is a strong looking chart on Eli Lilly, folks. Okay, you trade up in 2024 to 972. You backed off in the middle of the year to almost $600. Look at all this volume on the upside, right? And it's just a consolidation on lighter volume. We had a nice sign of strength the first week of February on a weekly. You pull back last week on lighter volume, and we're popping again. And if this is a 1-to-1 ADB CDD, you're going up to almost $1,300, man. And the way you broke this B point, okay, your B point back here was 972, and that was in August of 24, 972, right? And look at the 2 weeks you break above it. You accelerate to that area November 13th, and you push past it. Now, yeah, the week of November 10th, was technically on lighter volume than the 13th. But folks, that's a strong run higher. Do you see all that volume there on a 4-week basis, right? You pushed from a price point of 809 in October on their earnings up to a price point of 1,066. and you did it on 4 weeks of volume that were sustaining volume. Yeah, you backed off a bit, okay? But that's what you like to see. And since then, we've consolidated, and you got a nice sign of strength in February. You're up by 1.7%. All right, be careful in this market. You talk about some volatility to kick things off, man. Whew. We just lost 140 points. You were in the green, the NASDAQ 100. Let's jump over the VIX right now. 2161. We jump back to metals. Gold off by 157 bucks. Oof. It's a tough go around when you get stability news and you got gold tanking, as in, that news about, and let's pull up the headline. Let's see where we were. Yeah. Let me get the correct headline for you. Yeah, maybe that's the one I was looking at. Iran's two-pronged approach to Trump concessions and saber rattling. They float enrichment pauses in business deals to encourage a nuclear deal. But this article is basically saying not what really matters to Trump. And we'll see if it is actually a risk off. Got quite a little pop in the market. You gave it back just that quick, man. NASDAQ off by 0.5% right now. Some of the other equities with action. So LabCorp, they were higher and they're lower. Revenue, a miss. 4.21 billion versus 4.3. They beat on earnings. How about this equity, man? You talk about a nice trajectory to the upside. Something like that. Where's that best fit curve, right? Something like that. You're looking at LabCorp. You're off by 6% today. Now, you got some selling on their last their last earnings with volume. But we've had some nice volume on this upside trajectory, right? You make a low back there at the end of the year. We got a nice sign of strength January 12th with volume. You're backing off today, though. They miss on revenue and beat on earnings. So they take in $407 a share. The market was looking for about $396, $395. So they beat by 12 pennies, but revenue was $3.52 billion, and the market wanted $3.56. You can always tweak your earnings, right? There's a lot of accounting methods that are completely legal that allows you to tweak your earnings. Very difficult, not impossible, when you're talking about revenue, top line, bottom line. And yeah, so they beat on earnings, but they're taking in less money and making more money. And that's not usually the recipe for success, especially when you disappoint and you're on an upward trajectory. And we're coming back into these highs. Not anymore, no, but pretty remarkable. Highs of 2021. Look at the run this thing had during COVID, right? LabCorp, good spot to be in. I like the volume on this thing on the way up, though. Since that April low, right? Look at the sign of strength you got there in April with volume. You had a nice sign of strength off the 250 price point in November. You had a nice sign of strength. Do you see how the upward months have bigger spikes in volume? That's what we like to see, right? We trade higher with volume, trade lower on lighter volume. Trade higher with volume. And February may be a big month with the type of volume we'll have going on today with this equity. But hey, put it on your charts, folks. And that's a nice channel. You're talking about the 260 area to the 253. Maybe we test where we were earlier this year, right back to the bottom of this channel line on LabCorp. All right, let's jump over to silver. Keeping our eye on metals. That's your weekly. Oof, almost at session lows. And pretty remarkable when you look at the weekly. Only 318,000 contracts all last week on silver. 318. You're already at 50,000 right now. It's, what, 9:50 in the morning? In gold, you're already at 120,000 contracts. We're already above what we did on Friday, folks. Don't get lulled into thinking that Friday is some sign of strength, that 5,069 was a real number. Okay, when you see that type of action, 118,000 contracts, gold trades up $200. Okay, the action was when we closed at 49.41 on Thursday, and we're below that level right now. And even on Thursday, you only did 155,000 contracts. That was quite a head fake on the open, folks. We're coming right back.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, folks. The first move is not always the move that matters, and that seems to be the case today. How's that for a 15-minute bar that began at 9:45? You take back everything you did since 8 o'clock. We're right coming into those lows right now. Now, you got about 5 minutes left in this bar, and you've done about 28,000 contracts going into 42. But nonetheless, that was quite a head fake, man. Up to over 24,800. Boom, just like that. 300 points taken out of the NASDAQ. S&Ps, same thing. Up to above 6860. Boom, 50 points. Quick fingers today, folks. Dow, not as pronounced. You're only off by 0.2% right now. The Russell, off by 0.8%. Take another look at that heat map. Things have changed since we looked at it 15 minutes ago. And yeah, it's the tech stocks plowing lower. Financials in the green right now. Lilly, up 2.4%. Apple, up 1.1%. Looking at what sticks out right now. You jump over to the NASDAQ 100. All the big ones that matter are in the red. Watch out today. NASDAQ's off 300, folks. Bitcoin's off by $2,000 right now, trading at 66.87. And you got metals trading lower as well. Gold off more than $150 right now at 48.92. And silver off by 7%. Protect yourself in this market, folks. We've had some glamorous moves, and we have a very volatile market right now, right? We got an S&P that can rip 50 or 60 points in a heartbeat. As evidenced in the last 15 minutes, we got a gold contract where $200 is nothing. Okay, from where we were, over 5,000, we're trading right now 48.93. You hit 48.54, and we're going to have some volume. As I said, this is going to be the day in the week that matters in metals, so watch it. Silver at 47,000 contracts right now, but how about that volume in gold? Gold, 122,000 contracts already. The highest volume day last week was 155,000, so be careful in those markets, folks. NASDAQ off by 297 right now. NVIDIA off by 1.8% right now, and those chip stocks, Micron off by 3.2. Folks, thanks so much for tuning in, kicking off your trading day right here with me at TFNN. Stay tuned. We got Basil Chapman coming up right now at the Tiger Technicians Hour. He did his program live at 8 o'clock. That's coming up right now. Steve Rhodes live at 11 a.m. with the Trader's Edge. Fast Market from the Schwa Network at noon. Larry at 1. I'll see you at 3 o'clock, folks. Have a great day.